Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, we've seen a bit of a bounce here today on the Bitcoin chart after the price reached this sort of micro target area down there. What we'll do in this video, let me take this resistance area out. That's not needed anymore. What we'll do, we'll take a look at the micro patterns because not much more happened. I mean, the price essentially followed this downward pathway that we discussed in the previous two videos today. And also the target range was reached that I provided in the previous update down here. As I mentioned in the previous video, it was likely and expected that B wave topped here. Yeah. B wave topped here. We had a wave 1 to the downside in what appears like a 5-wave decline in wave C. So wave 1 of wave C to the downside after the B wave topped. Then a wave 2 corrective rally in a running flat. So a running flat structure consists of an ABC structure with an overshooting B wave to the downside and then a C wave rally, and A and C often tend to have the same length. If we can compare that, wave A go to the low of B, pretty much, yeah, similar length there, a bit longer, that's fine for a C wave, could easily stretch to the 1.38 extension. So that fulfilled all the requirements. And then we've seen this rapid C wave decline, which possibly is finished. But if it is finished, the wave 4 should stretch out a little bit like the wave 2. We might get one more low in wave 3. We might do. It's, you know, if let's say, I mean, we've now rallied into resistance. I provided that resistance area earlier today already on Discord to members. So if in case you're surprised where it comes from, but it's defined between 60,400 and 61,880. Now, if we get rejected here straight away, then this was not the wave 4. Okay, consider the, let's say, the proportions. So the wave 2 took 4 days. So wave 4, I would say, should also take 2 to 4 days. I mean, 2 days at least. Yeah, better would be like 3 or 4 days. So I don't necessarily have the evidence that the wave 4 has started yet, other than a small rally into resistance. We'll see how it develops. The resistance area is defined anyway. It's between 60,400 and 61,883. It is a standard resistance area for a fourth wave. So again, I can't rule out one more low in wave 3. The reason I say that is because the first ideal target for the third is the 58,769 level. It reached the bare minimum. Yeah. So I mean, if the wave 4, it's okay. I mean, let's say the chances increase that this is now wave 4 because we've reached really the minimum target for a third to the downside, but it's really only the minimum. Okay. So if this is now the wave 4, then this should stretch a little bit longer and possibly even over the weekend or into the weekend. But maybe we'll get one more low and then we'll get a corrective structure wave 4 over the weekend. It's just speculation. Either way, the parameters are clearly defined. A break above 61,880, if it's a convincing break, would indicate that something more bullish is going on. Okay. Until then, one more low would be expected, at least one more low, possibly targeting eventually, yeah, 57,780, 57,500, or even 55,960, sort of in that area down there, because it seems as if another 4-5 pattern is missing. Okay, and what we can see here is that today, I don't normally use moving averages that much, but the price bounced exactly from the 100-day simple moving average, highlighted here in purple, exactly. Okay. It's just an observation, you know, it doesn't mean that we're, you know, go up from here or something. But what I can tell you is that we obviously have this descending trend line there, the upper trend line. We have a lower trend line, actually quite well defined, and it looks a bit like a descending wedge pattern. I might make that here a little bit more obvious for you. You see the trend line there. Maybe, how does that look at that? Make that that's pretty ugly, isn't it? I don't know. Just want to make it a bit more obvious here that we've got a bit of a, yeah, whatever. At least you see the trend line, the trend lines. They don't even have the same color. So like that. Okay, so we've got, it's purple day today. So we've got here something that looks a bit like a descending wedge, and the price had some support there from the Fibonacci support zone and the moving average and the descending trend line. So now it moved into resistance. We have to watch the, the resistance areas here. Not really a convincing rally yet, but a break above 61,880 would be an early indication that something different is going on. And if we then see a break to the upside of the wedge pattern, I mean, that could be the start of something more bullish, and maybe we've bottomed then. It's noteworthy that Bitcoin has formed a lower low. Ether hasn't. Technically, Bitcoin's correction could be finished, but it looks incomplete. 1 more 4-5 pattern would be ideal. Sometimes we don't get these last lows, but here it's important that we got that 1 more low, which means that it's always good for a bottoming structure to get that last low and not to sort of hover here, Had we not made another lower low, and then we rally, it's more clearly corrective, or it would rather indicate that we get another move down later. But if we now start to rally impulsively, it could really be that we've bottomed. But it's too early to say. At the moment, it would be, I find it likely that we get 1 more low. But we've seen Bitcoin morph so often in this structure here. It's been really painful. May is historically quite a good month actually in crypto. If we look at the average performance of Bitcoin over the last 10 years or so, May is typically a good month. June is pretty bad. Okay, so that's just in terms of seasonalities. Again, it's just something that has to do with probabilities. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is related to Elliott Wave, but obviously what we watch for here is eventually maybe a little bit lower, but then a reaction and an upside rally. It's going to be interesting. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.